The magic of cinema allows actors to live forever on screen, but sometimes, tragically, the artists who bring these characters to life never get to see their final bow. Today, we're remembering talented performers who passed away before their movies reached audiences, leaving behind powerful legacies that would touch millions, even though they never witnessed the impact themselves. Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker is widely considered one of the greatest performances in cinema history. His commitment was legendary. He locked himself in a hotel room for weeks, keeping a diary in character, perfecting every mannerism, every laugh, every chilling moment of chaos. But on January 22, 2008, 6 months before The Dark Knight premiered, Heath died from an accidental prescription drug overdose. He was just 28 years old. The world would go on to see his Joker, terrifying, unpredictable, mesmerizing. The performance earned him a posthumous Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. At the ceremony, his family accepted the Oscar on his behalf, and there wasn't a dry eye in the house. Heath poured everything into that role, but he never got to hear the standing ovations, never saw the critics call it a masterpiece, never knew he'd won an Oscar. His daughter Matilda was only 2 years old when he passed. The Dark Knight became his haunting farewell. Brandon Lee was the son of martial arts legend Bruce Lee, and he was carving out his own path in Hollywood. In 1993, he was filming The Crow, a dark revenge thriller that was supposed to be his breakout role. But on March 31, 1993, during the filming of a scene, a tragic accident occurred. A prop gun that was supposed to fire blanks had a bullet fragment lodged in the barrel. When it was fired, it struck Brandon in the abdomen. He died hours later at just 28 years old. The production was nearly shut down, but Brandon's fiancée and mother encouraged the team to finish the film as a tribute to him. Using stand-ins and digital effects, cutting-edge technology, for 1994, they completed The Crow. When it premiered a year after his death, audiences saw a powerful, brooding performance. Brandon had given everything to the role of Eric Draven, a musician who returns from the dead to avenge his murder. The tragic irony? The character dies and comes back. Brandon never came back. The Crow became a cult classic, and Brandon's legacy lives on. But he never got to see it become the film that would define him. Philip Seymour Hoffman was one of the most respected actors of his generation, an Oscar winner with an incredible range, from Capote to The Master to his scene-stealing role as Plutarch Heavensbee in the Hunger Games franchise. In February 2014, while filming Mockingjay Part 2, Philip died of a drug overdose. He had struggled with addiction for years, but had been sober for over 2 decades before relapsing. His death left the production in crisis. He had about a week of filming left. The filmmakers refused to use CGI to recreate him, out of respect. Instead, they carefully rewrote scenes and redistributed his lines to other characters. When Mockingjay Part 2 premiered in November 2015, nearly 2 years after his death, it served as a bittersweet farewell to an actor who had touched so many lives. The film was dedicated to his memory. Philip Seymour Hoffman elevated everything he was in. He never saw the final chapter of the franchise that introduced him to a whole new generation of fans. Paul Walker was the heart and soul of the Fast and Furious franchise. For over a decade, he played Brian O'Connor, the undercover cop turned family man and street racer. On November 30, 2013, during a break from filming Furious 7, Paul was a passenger in a friend's car when it crashed and burst into flames. He died instantly at age 40. The franchise was left devastated. Production shut down for months. The question everyone asked was, how do you finish a movie when one of your leads is gone? The answer came through brotherly love. Paul's brothers, Caleb and Cody, stepped in as body doubles. Using CGI, filmmakers mapped Paul's face onto his brothers for the remaining scenes. It was painstaking, emotional work. When Furious 7 premiered in April 2015, that final scene, Brian driving off into the sunset as Wiz Khalifa's "See You Again," became one of the most emotional moments in action movie history. Paul Walker never saw that tribute. He never saw millions of fans sobbing in theaters, never knew that the movie would gross over $1.5 billion worldwide, becoming a global memorial to his legacy. In August 2020, the world was shocked when Chadwick Boseman died of colon cancer at age 43. What made it even more stunning? Most people didn't even know he was sick. For 4 years, Chadwick had been privately battling cancer while becoming a global icon as Black Panther. While playing Jackie Robinson, James Brown, and Thurgood Marshall, he was a superhero on screen and off. When he died, he had already completed filming Ma Rainey's Black Bottom for Netflix, a role that would showcase his before. His performance as the ambitious trumpeter Levy was raw, powerful, and heartbreaking. The film premiered in December 2020, 4 months after his death. Critics were unanimous. It was one of the best performances of the year. Chadwick won a posthumous Golden Globe and received an Oscar nomination for Best Actor. At the 2021 Academy Awards, many expected him to win. When Anthony Hopkins won instead, Hopkins acknowledged Chadwick in his absence, saying he was so respectful of this honor. Chadwick Boseman gave us so much while privately enduring unimaginable pain. He never got to see the outpouring of love, the murals painted in his honor worldwide, the impact of his final performance. Wakanda Forever took on a whole new meaning after his passing. Before any of these modern tragedies, there was James Dean, the original actor who became a legend after death. James Dean only starred in 3 major films: East of Eden, Rebel Without a Cause, and Giant. In September 1955, before Rebel Without a Cause and Giant had even been released, James was driving his Porsche to a racing event when he collided with another car. He died at age 24. When Rebel Without a Cause premiered weeks later, James Dean became an instant icon. Teenagers around the world mourned him. He represented youth, rebellion, and the tragedy of dying young. Giant premiered a year after his death, earning him a posthumous Oscar nomination, the first actor ever to receive one. James Dean's entire legendary career consists of roles he never saw resonate with audiences. He never knew he'd become the ultimate symbol of cool, that his image would be on posters 70 years later. That he'd essentially create the template for the misunderstood rebel. 3 movies, 1 year, an eternal legacy. These actors and so many others like them remind us that art outlives the artist. They gave us performances that moved us, inspired us, and became part of our collective cultural memory. They never got to walk the red carpets for their final films, never heard the applause, never knew how much their work would mean, but we know. We carry their legacies forward every time we watch, every time we remember, every time we're moved by what they left behind. Heath Ledger, Brandon Lee, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Paul Walker, Chadwick Boseman, James Dean. Gone too soon, but never forgotten. Their movies may have been their final gifts to us, but our remembrance is our gift to them. Thanks for watching. If this video moved you, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. What's a performance by an actor who passed away that touched you the most? Let's honor their memories together.